Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is my Shop My Stash for December. Welcome to everyone watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I'm going to be shopping my stash for December and showing you what was in here for November, give you all of my reviews, and then go into my makeup drawer to select some products for December. I'm going to be showing you what lipsticks I wore, what eyeshadow palettes I will be reviewing and going back to in the month. There's all that jazz, so let me get to it. Okay, so first up we're going to have a look at everything that was in here, and drum roll please, because I used up not one, but two more makeup products this month. The Kosas, of course, was already really close. I already told you that at the start of the month when I filmed my previous Shop My Stash, that the Kosas were probably going to be running out. It looks like there's still a lot of product left, but it's just like stuck to the sides, and it's an airtight pump, so I don't feel comfortable opening it up any further. And I can't pump any more product out, so that's gone. And then we have this Parnell cushion, which I was only able to use another like handful of times because it's already completely dried up. So that's interesting. But yeah, I was able to only use it like 4 or 5 times. I was mainly wearing my Kiko foundation this month. So this counts as done as well. So what did I replace it with? The Kosas Glow IV I replaced with the Bouncy Plump from Essence. This is new for fall winter, and this is fine. It's like a more hydrating version of the Jelly Grip. I believe that's the intention anyways. That's the vibe I'm getting from this product, but I don't feel it's as good as the Jelly Grip. The Jelly Grip is still my favorite from Essence. I have a backup of that one, but this is just a newer one. And you can see I've only been using it for about a week now, and it's already showing lots of usage. So I'm definitely sure that I can use this one up before the end of the year as well. And then I was using the Kiko Milano Skin Lover foundation for another month, and this was another really good foundation for me. I still love this. It's really similar in texture to the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, but Kiko Milano is, of course, a lot more affordable than Giorgio Armani is. And you can see where I already have usage. I've only been using this steadily since October, and about like 1/5 of the way of this bottle is already gone. That's how much I love it. And I really only use 1 or 2 drops for my entire face, so I really don't use a lot. Not sure I want to keep it in though. I think I want to do like 2 cushion foundations in December, since the Parnell one has already gotten so dried up. I'm afraid that some of my other ones that were my favorites last year may be drying out too. So I think I'm just going to select like 1 or 2 cushions to put in for December. Then of course another primer, my eyeshadow primer. I went in with the Milani after using the NYX HD primer last month. Like, it was used up, so I started using this, and it's still a favorite. I've confirmed yet again why I like this so much. This does take me a long time to use up though, so with daily usage, about a year, maybe 1.5 years even, and then I will be done with this. So this is probably not going to be empty until the end of next year. Lip balm wise, my Catrice Pillow Plush is Peptide Lip Mask is still going strong. This is a beautiful product. I really like it for the mornings to just get ready and slap this all over my lips and just have a more nourishing lip vibe. And of course, my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Setting Spray. It's about like this far gone. I bought 4 bottles in backup last year for Black Friday. I still have 2 full ones left. This one isn't anywhere near done, so by the time those are probably done, it's going to be another round of Black Friday. I can buy 4 more. But yeah, I did use one of these up in the past year. This is my favorite setting spray. I go back to it all the time. And then we have what's in this drawer today. I selected these 2 mascaras from Heimish. They are both tubing mascaras. They are the Daylism Smudge Stop Mascara in black and in brown. And these are good mascaras. I really do enjoy them. They don't really need a second layer, which is also what I enjoy about these. But I don't love the tubing mascara. I've now tried a couple, and I have pretty bad allergies. I have hay fever, and these tubing mascaras can really set off the itching of my eyes. And I think it's to do with the fact that when these dry down, there's little tubes of mascara around your lashes. And because it gets pretty close to your lash line, that drying, that texture can really sort of become a problem for me, I have found. So my eyes get really itchy, really teary, and because they wipe off without too much effort, I feel the little tubes of mascara throughout the day can also start to break down, because if my eyes get like itchy and teary-eyed, I'm more likely to touch my eyes and rub, which I try to not do, but I do feel that then even makes makes it even worse, because the tubing, like the little tubes of mascara, come off of my lashes and then sometimes get in my eyes, making the itching and the irritation even worse. So I've definitely had days where I could barely like wear mascara, and I was happy to not have to do my eyeshadow the next day with these mascaras. So I've just found that tubing mascaras aren't really for me, and these ones have confirmed it for me, because I just thought, like, I'd only tried like an Essence or a Catrice one, and I hadn't really tried too many others. And I like the idea of how easy it is to remove a tubing mascara. And it's still waterproof, so it does still stay put, but I just find that whatever's in it to make it a tubing mascara, my eyes just don't like, and it's been the same with every single tubing mascara I've tried. So I'm going to stick to regular mascara for sure. So these are going to go in the use up pile, because as much as I like the look of these, I really like the effects and the way they actually apply and go on. It's just throughout the day, my eyes get too itchy with these. This one is getting dried up, sadly. I only was able to use it a handful of times this month, but this is the purple version of the Essence Lash Princess, so I need to select another new round of mascara again. So I think I'm just going to go back to favorites that I know work for me, because my eyes have really been going through the ringer the past couple of weeks using the Heimish ones. So, but yeah, this was fun. I really enjoyed this purple mascara, but it's getting too dry. It's too clumpy. Brow-wise, we're still going strong. We have the Color Fix by Catrice. I actually picked this one up in a hurry because the Sydney Grace one I was wearing in October was a little bit clumpy as well. So I just bought this because I was like, that's okay as well. But this is getting clumpy and gloopy already as well. I really hope they put the blonde version of the Essence Make Me brow gel back into stock really, really soon, because I haven't been able to find it anywhere. I've been to like 4 different stores by now, and I cannot find that shade. They have the darker ones, but they don't have the lighter one. So that's a bit of a shame. And this is all I have left. This is my brow pencil. So again, before the end of the year, I will have used up a brow pencil, which makes me happy, because these Soap and Glory ones last me a lifetime. This MAC paint pot you can't see, but I can feel the glass when I stick my finger in. So whenever I use this, I can feel the glass bottom already. I know from experience though that it can take a few months to actually be able to see the glass, because your finger kind of just smushes the product back into place. So it can take a while for it to show up. But can you see? I've been telling you for months, there's such a huge dent in this eyeshadow. I'm probably going to hit pan on it, and all of a sudden, can you see how big that dent is now? So it's been expanding with every usage of this eyeshadow. This is MAC Orb, and I use it to set the paint pot with. It's usually like, whenever I use up eyeshadow, it's shades like this that I use as a single with my primer to set my base and make sure my eyeshadow can blend very well. But yeah, this is very exciting. I don't think I'll be able to use this up before the end of the year though, but you can see that I was able to put a nice little dent into this MAC eyeshadow, and I would definitely repurchase it, and also in this shade, because it's an exact match for my skin tone. So I hope they never discontinue this shade, because the shade I used to have, which was vanilla, I think, they discontinued in the end. So that was a bit of a shame. And then, of course, we have all the fun bits down here. I had some concealers in. Not once did I need my Kiko Milano Skin Tone Concealer, which is the one to the left. The one on the right, the Skin Lover Concealer, which launched this year, was working really, really well for me. I think, like the foundation, because this matches the foundation really well, this is now my favorite Kiko concealer. It's a serum-based concealer, so it's very thin. If you have dry skin, you're going to love this thing. It has a metal, I hope I can show you this, but you can see here it has a metal applicator, so it's very cooling on the skin as well. I sometimes wear this just by itself. I've actually been doing that for the past couple of days. I've been coming down with a cold, so if I sound a bit nasally or raspy, that's probably why. I'm just not feeling the greatest. And then when I'm like sneezing all day, I don't want to do like a full face of makeup because I need to wipe it off anyway, so then my nose is going to get really red and weird. So then I just like to use a little bit of concealer on a couple of areas that have a bit of redness and just call it a day. And this has been working really well for that. No creases. I don't even have to set this with powder if I make sure I blend it in really carefully because of the thin formula. I have found though that this doesn't work with every foundation and every primer. So I felt when I was using this with the Parnell Cushion foundation, it wasn't as pretty as with the matching Kiko foundation. So I definitely need to find ways of like using this with other foundations, I think. But I think it's because of the fact that it's more of a serum rather than an actual makeup product. It's just super hydrating, so I think it actually messes and breaks up most other foundations that you can layer this with. So this by itself or layered with the matching foundation works really well, but I wouldn't recommend mixing it with other things. Considering keeping this in for another round, but I actually think I want to put it back into my makeup collection and either just use up a concealer like this one, because this one I'm now like, I just need to use it up. See if I can manage that before the end of the year. So I'll probably put the skin tone back in. That's going to go back. Then I have my powder in here, my little Kosas Cloud Set, which I told you that the pan was going to expand pretty quickly. And it did. I hit pan on it last month. You can see I have a nice dent in there as well. A bit like with the eyeshadow, I just kind of started in the middle and have been working my way to the edges now. I'm kind of more using product along the edges. There was a bit of hard pan that I got at the start. So I'm trying to sort of like work through that ring around it and then sort of like go from out in the middle. But I have found that it's just now a little bit more fragile than it used to be, which usually happens with powder products when you do hit pan on them. Because the pan is broken through, the structural integrity of the product is actually attached. So I don't think I'll be able to keep like travel with this or anything. And also what happened to me is that part of the hinge is now broken as well. So when that truly like breaks off, which is what I've seen happen for a lot of people with this powder, because it's quite a thick plastic lid, and then the hinge is actually a little bit too small. So if the lid does pop off, I don't know how motivated I'll be to keep using this in the long term. I've got plenty of powders I can go back to. I'm still having fun with this. It still works really well, but I still like my Kiko Milano Radiant Fusion better than I do this, so I will not be repurchasing it once it gets time to retire this. See, and this is what I mean. I was spilling powder all over this thing because it's now so crumbly, the Kosas is. But this is a blush I've been using. This is the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Blush in Baroque. This is really pretty. It's got a really nice cool toned flash, a slightly more warm neutral undertone, and I really needed that because a lot of the other things I had in here were purples, which was fine and a lot of fun, but it wasn't always like suitable with every look I was doing. So this was my nice sort of like escape for the days where I didn't want a purple blush. Shall we stick to the blush for a sec then? I did put in this. This is the serum blush from M Cosmetics in Venetian Rose. Really pretty as well, but it was a bit too warm toned for a lot of the things I had selected other than that. So this would need more of like a peachy highlight, and I didn't really have that in. So it didn't go with a lot of things. But I was like testing these out. These were all new to me. I actually filmed a video all about my purple blushes in my collection last Thursday. So if you want to see these swatched against other purple blush, then you can check out that video. But I have the Dior Backstage Blush Stick in the shade Pink Lilac. This is really beautiful. It's a little bit sheer though. It actually works best for me if I just apply it straight from the stick, which I don't love because every single time I use it, I first need to warm it up on the back of my hand to get the product going before I can apply it to my cheeks. And that just seems a little bit wasteful. And what I've also discovered is that this is clear plastic. So if you're not careful and you get a little bit of blush around the rim, this gets messy very quickly because that formula is very, very creamy. It's beautiful, it's really nice, but I do feel I need to build it up quite a bit for it to truly show up. If you're even fairer than me, you will like this even more, I think. And it's not that purple, it's more of like a pinky purple. So for true purples, I definitely think this is the only thing that's currently on the market that I would deem a true purple, and it's the Fenty Beauty Drama Class Blush. I got it in the cream and the powder because I wanted to be able to compare them. I actually did videos where I wore this one on the one cheek and the other on the other cheek, and no one was like, are you wearing two different products on your cheeks? No one thought that because these are very similar. You definitely don't need both, but my favorite way to wear them now is together. I've also done a couple of looks where I first applied the cream and then layered the powder on top. And that was just chef's kiss. So beautiful, really nice. This is what the cream looks like. I already knew that I like the Cheeks Out formula a lot because I have a more warm tone version for this for the summertime that I really enjoy. And I really owned What a Brat in these suede powder blushes and really enjoyed the formula. And here is what Drama Class looks like in the powder formula. Really beautiful, stunning blushes. If you want to go for purple blush, definitely opt for one of these two. The powder is perhaps my favorite for wearing by itself instead of the cream, but if you have more dry skin, then the cream may be nicer for you. The only downside is that these are only available through the Fenty Beauty website and nowhere else. You can find all the other shades in store, save for the purples. For highlight, I had 3 options in, of which I really only used 2. I wore the Baby Got Glow once with the M Cosmetics Venetian Rose thing. This is okay. I thought because it looks really separated here, I thought it might have expired, but it didn't. It didn't smell weird. It didn't feel weird. It wasn't gritty or anything. It doesn't look that appealing in the tube. That's what I found. So it was good to check. And then this I wore, if I wore the Heaven's Glow blush by M Cosmetics, so the Baroque shade, the more neutrally thing I had in. This works really well with that. It's sort of like a white gold. It's Champagne Pelican by Kruidvat, which I don't think a lot of people will have access to because this is a Dutch drugstore brand. And then when I was using the purples, I went in with this Fui, I now know what it's called. This is the Glitz Stone Highlighter in the shade Merry Aurora. I picked this up in Japan last summer. It was on a display, like being promoted as a new product from Fui, and Fui is one of my favorite K-beauty brands, and this is really beautiful. It's like a pinky lavender blue, sort of like really subtle with a little bit of sparkle, but I don't find the sparkle too noticeable on the cheeks. Love this thing to pieces. It was really beautiful paired with the purple blushes. And then for bronzer, I was super boring. I didn't use my Fenty Beauty bronzer once at all this month. Again, something I've already hit pan on, something I may want to use up next year. I had to scrape it down several times just because it just gets hard pan so quickly. But like I haven't used this since scraping it down, and you can already see some areas being darker than the rest. This just dries out so quickly, and it's weird because this is not a cream, it's a powder. Make it make sense. Why is my focus trying to focus on this? Don't do that. And then we have the one I use the most. This now looks so horrible. It already looked horrible because of how much I used it. This is by Nabla. This is their Skin Glazing Bronzer in Ombre. And yeah, I use this every single day this month. And I'm not sure if you can see, but if I tilt it to the side, you can sort of see. Oh, of course you can't see this way. You can see this is the edge. And you can see how deep down this is going. This is also like a gel to powder kind of product. Really beautiful. It worked so well. But I had to wipe it down every single time. It's not gotten hard pan at all. It looks like it. But when I rub my finger across it, I like clean it up instantly. And it works a charm. So it's been lovely. But I want something else. And then I think we've discussed everything in the drawer, which means we need to move into lips. I've been wearing some lipsticks again. This is the update on my Lisa Eldridge Muse lipstick. By the time you're watching this, I hopefully will have repurchased this because she's getting very down. And every single time I'm like, oh, I need a nude lipstick. This is what I've been reaching for because I'm trying to use it up before the end of the year. I don't think I'll quite manage it to use it up in like the next 30 uses. I'm gonna have to wear it every single day, like multiple times in order to get it down. But like if this, because it's becoming very difficult to use this actually. I almost need to start using a lip brush with this because it's just not that easy to use because the edge is starting to wear down and I can no longer be as precise with it as I want to. There's definitely that. Then more Lisa Eldridge. Let's get them out of the way. I wore New Wave because I was feeling like wearing some bright, more bold, colorful things. So that's been lovely. And I wore Skyscraper Rose as well. So some of the bolder, brighter things. I did a video with it. I did a video all about my bold, bright favorite lipstick, so I definitely started wearing a couple of those things. I got loads of compliments when I wore this lipstick combo. This is Mixed Media by MAC, which, yes, she's deep, but she's gorgeous. And I paired it with Night Moth Lip Pencil. I also wore some of my Revlon lipsticks. This is Cherries in the Snow, which is a nice like pinky red, which I like. And then I wore my favorite nude by them, which is Laid Back Lilac. This is so, so beautiful. This is, I think, one of my favorite nude lipsticks in my entire lipstick collection. Thanks, Lorraine, for putting me onto this one because it's wonderful on me. And then, because of all the purple that was in my Shop My Stash, I ended up picking out one of my more purpley but subtle purpley lipsticks. This is Milani Fetish lipstick in Kink. And it's more like a sheer formula, so it's not as intense as you might think. But it was great for like something super cool toned. And then I was using this like tinted lip balm thing from Romand. It's the Glasting Melting Balm in Mauve Whip. This was in the bottom of my work bag. I didn't know where it went. For months I was looking for this thing. I think I last wore it before the summer. I'm glad I found it again. So those were all the bits that were in this drawer. This time round, let's go into the drawer and select some new things. So here is the face drawer in all its glory. I love looking at this thing. It's just all of my foundations, blushes, bronzers, highlighters, anything that goes onto the face, not the lips or the eyes, is in this drawer. And I just love looking at this. I really, really do. Let me see. I said I was gonna select a couple of cushion foundations. So I actually think that shade-wise, this Unleasha Don't Touch Glass, no? Yes, Don't Touch Glass Pink Cushion in 21N is going to be really beautiful. So the Unleasha Pink foundation actually has a slight green undertone apparently in this shade. I didn't know that, but I remember really liking the shade match. So want to try that, see how dried up that is. And do I want to go with this? No. I know I want to go in with this. This is my Romand Bare Water Cushion in shade 2 Pure 21. This is a really, really wet foundation, but I'm like, it's going to be winter this month. I need something hydrating, and these two are really hydrating. So I think I'm going to select these two. Maybe I'll select a third one if these run out really quickly. We'll see. But I'm craving those. Then I have my Kiko concealer already, of course. But I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to do... We're gonna do a classic oldie but goodie. I haven't used this combo in such a long time. I feel ashamed. But layering the Catrice Under Eye Brightener in the cream version under the Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is in G12, which is the old shade name. That's how old this is. But this is really hydrating as well, so I think it can be a nice combo with these cushions. And I was really loving how effortless my makeup looked when I was wearing the M Cosmetics blush. So I actually want to go back to my Jones Road one. I haven't used this in a while. And this is a one-stop shop. You can use this on your cheeks, on your eyes, on your lips. You do need to use a little bit of a spatula and then warm it up on the back of your hand. But I think this can be nice for like the effortless, barely there sort of looks that I'm really into at the minute. I have a really busy December coming up. So I know I don't want to necessarily do a full face makeup look all the time. Sometimes I may just want to slap on a little bit of blush, a bit of cushion foundation, like really quickly, and just head out the door. So I think this can be nice. For those moments where I want a little bit more of an intense blush look, I think I want to opt for Rouge Noir by MUA. This is a liquid blush formula that's a great dupe for the Glossier Cloud Paints. I love these. I have them in several shades. I think I have 4 of them. But this is really beautiful, and Rouge Noir looks super intense in the tube. Let me see if I can open it. Like, it looks super intense, but if you sheer this out, it's such a good, like, goes with anything kind of shade. It just, you do need only a little bit if you have fair skin. And because these are some products I love wearing in December, my MAC Extra Dimension blush in Dilly Dolly is this very light pink with like a gold sheen. It's really beautiful. I've used this apparently so much. I didn't remember it looking like this. I thought it still had the pristine stripes, but it doesn't. Love that blush. So that's a more cool toned option. And then I love my Fenty Beauty highlighter in How Many Carats. This is the Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats. It's just a mini, but this time of year when you have those low lighting situations around Christmas time with just a couple of candles, this is absolutely beautiful, and I feel it really makes me feel good. So I want that. So as far as I know, I've already reviewed all of those products, but this I've never gotten around to. It's by M Cosmetics. It's their Pillow Plush Blush in Tickled, which is a bit of a mauve tone, which I haven't selected yet, so I feel it goes. But everything is quite like neutral, easy to use. That's what we're looking for. And then I have my Fenty highlighter. I think I do want something that has a little bit more oomph to it. Oh! I haven't used this yet, the Cezanne Nuancer Pearl Glow Nuancer. I picked this up in Japan. It's a really nice cool toned one. So we'll do that then for the cool toned options. I already have something that's a little bit more like a cream. And I'm eyeing up this Vanilla Quartz by Becca. Yeah, we'll do Vanilla Quartz by Becca. And now I'm thinking that I still have these Asian Beauty blushes as well that I haven't reviewed yet. So this I think will go really nicely with the Cezanne highlighter. This is by Etude. It's the Heart Pop blusher in Lavender Snow. Not sure I'm fair enough for it yet. Maybe January would be better. And then this is by Can Make, which is another Japanese beauty brand. This is the Glow Fleur Cheeks in shade B03, which I think is again going to be pretty fair, but I'm just going to give them a whirl so I can review them for you. Alright, so I've already put everything back into the drawer. It's a little bit much, but a lot of these things I've tried before. There's really only the things I got in Japan here that I still need to review, and then there's these things, which means I still just need to share with you which eyeshadow palettes I will be reviewing. Some of these I haven't even shown you yet in a haul, and there's 2 things here that I don't want to forget to review before the end of the year. There is a palette still making its way to me. I think it will be here before I have to fill my haul later this week. So if it's here on time for the haul, I will just be sneaking it into the review video, but it's the new Gloss Gods palettes I got in the Black Friday sale. But these are the things that I got so far. Another Japan thing, this is a Cezanne Tone Up eyeshadow in these really pretty shades. I just want to give this a whirl. It's a Japanese brand that I've never tried before, so I was like, you know what? I just want to try this. So I think it's like it's a one look in a palette kind of thing, right? So this is not going to add too much stress to me testing out these shadows. Then this was a gift from Esther. It's an Odin's Eye palette. It's the Spring Dragon. She was like, I know you don't love Odin's Eye, but maybe you can give them another chance this way. It's very pastel heavy though, so I don't know whether I like this. Pastels, especially not these like pinky peachy things this has, are usually my thing. Minty green and lavender I can sort of get away with, but the rest, bit of a challenge, but we'll give it a whirl. I think these softer things will be really nice with some of the softer things on my cheeks as well, so I think I can make a look out of it. And then these 3 things are a sneak peek of my haul because Monolith did their Black Friday sale a little earlier than most websites, and I got some things by brands that I've never tried before and a brand I still wanted to try. This palette, can I open this? I still need to take pictures of these. So this is by Narimi Beauty. This is the Ashes palette from, according to the website. And here is what it looks like. It's very cool toned, but it also has browns in, and these grays look a little bit green. I was intrigued, and it seems to have some really stunning shimmers too. So we'll see how this goes. I'm definitely going to be playing around with this, and this is only like, what, 2 looks that I need to do? Then we have by Unearthly the Shadow Sculpt Ghoul Garden, and I believe this is the palette. I love the box, by the way. That this is the palette that was released over the summertime that everybody's been saying is Unearthly going back to their old formula. And if you know anything about me, I love the old Unearthly formula so much more than what they're doing right now. This is still, like I said, I still need to test these out. I still have all these protectors in. Let me take those out. So Monolith actually did send me a code so I could place this order for myself. So I didn't pay for these with my own money, just in case you were wondering. But look at that. It's really nice, like grungy greens with some neutrals and some brighter pops of color. I think I might like that. So, and this was like more, like they did 25 to 50% off of their entire website, I believe. And this was now, it was just a lot cheaper. I had sort of calculated how much it would be, and this was cheaper than what I had calculated. So it was more than 25% off. And I've never tried Simply Posh, and some of you were telling me, indeed, when I showed you what was on my wish list for the sale, that this gingerbread bakery would be something you would be interested in. So I was like, then I might as well select that. So here, again, we have a full row of shimmers. So here is what that palette looks like. I feel it looks more warm toned because of the gold background, and you do get some warmer things here, but I feel it's overall quite neutral. This is a little bit more cool toned, and then you get some fun bright pops of pastel. I'm not sure whether I even like this brand, but I did like the look of this. So, and there weren't that many new things in the Black Friday sale for Monolith, and they do want us, if they give out the codes, they do want you to buy newer things as well. So I felt obliged to buy something from their new drop, and this was the only thing that I really felt like was anything unique to my collection, and it's a brand I've never tried before. I was like, this way at least I get to try the brand, you know? And as we all know, I love going back to shadows as well. And this is a bit more of a selection than what I normally go for, but there's still 2 palettes I want to do more looks with. So I'm just going to rope them into my palettes revisited. But there are 4 classics in here that I just love around the holidays. So the 2 palettes that I hadn't quite managed to like do all the looks with were the Smolder and Muse palettes from Cosmic Beauty. So I wanted to rope these in to make sure I give them enough of a whirl this December. And then there is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight Edition. So this was the one we got last year. Really nicely cool toned. I think this is perfectly for around Christmas time or New Year's Eve. And then we have the That's Taupe. I already told you, like, I think I like that. So this is great for the holidays as well with a bright red lip. And then I was doing my cool tone ranking. I was like, oh, I want to use this Zoeva on taupe again. So that's why this is here. And then I was like, yes, I need to use this as well. The Rose Quartz. I still need to rank all of my neutral palettes. And I think this is more of a neutral palette to me than like a true cool tone. There are cool tones in here, of course, but it also has the pinks and some warmth. So I think I'm going to put it in the neutral ranking that I want to do for you in December. And this is one of my favorites, of course. So I do want to use that one again. So those are all of the things in my Shop My Stash for December. I forgot to select mascara once again, but like I said, I'm going to go and select my Maybelline for a black and my Essence and Catrice things for the brown and whatever. So this is going to be things you've seen before. And check back in January, because then I'll shop my stash again for the new year. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video today. It's December. It's of course crazy in the world of beauty right now. You can expect from me eyeshadow palette reviews, for sure, step 1. Step 2, end of year favorites. That's going to happen between Christmas and New Year. I'm going to be ranking all of my neutral eyeshadow palettes, and that's about it, I think. I will be ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes I test out, but I'll save that one for January. So if you were looking for that, that's going to go into the January pile of videos to film. So thanks so much for being here today, and then I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, and then I hope to see you again really, really soon in a new video. Bye-bye!